So this is part 2 of the student art contest fair funding video. I'm just going to show you this little chart before we continue to move on. We talked about the racial inequity. We talked about how the money wasn't being distributed fairly. This little chart shows that it's the growing school districts who are receiving less than their fair share, $1.14 billion less than their fair share. And that's because of that whole thing where the state says we have to give you whatever we gave you in the past. We can't give you less. That means that the districts that are growing and have a greater need or have grown in poverty, there's less left over to share with them. So who does this hurt? It hurts 51% of all public school students are being shortchanged. 78% of all Black students are being shortchanged. And 82% of all Hispanic students are being shortchanged in Pennsylvania. So again, this is to show that this isn't affecting all students equally. It's affecting students of color at a much higher rate than white students. All right, so what does this mean for students in underfunded districts? It means larger class sizes. It means fewer guidance counselors, teachers, and staff. So that means that, if you have large class sizes and fewer guidance counselors and teachers and staff, that's less resources for students. Because honestly, teachers and other staff members, they're some of the greatest resources that students have. Having somebody who can give you a lot of attention and help you through things is one of the most important things about going to school. And when a teacher has a ton of students, that means that teacher is able to focus less on helping any one student. So that's a big problem. Another thing that comes up are building safety issues. Depending on what district you're in, you might be in a much older building. There might be mold problems or asbestos and other building issues. There are often a lack of AP courses, foreign language, and other programs that provide really important opportunities for students. And then just fewer clubs, sports, and other opportunities. So it's just all sorts of ways in which students are shortchanged, where they don't have the resources that students in neighboring districts might have, and they don't have the things that might prepare them for college or for a career. And so it's unfair, and it's really setting students up in a way that that kind of disadvantages them as they get ready to leave school and become a successful adult, because we want to be able to give students everything they need in order to live up to their full potential. And when we are underfunding and when we are not giving them the teachers they need or not giving them the courses they need, we are not doing that. We are not setting them up for success. It also means that that the parents and guardians of students are paying higher property taxes, because in those districts where the state is shortchanging you, we often have to make up for that by higher local property taxes, like we talked about. And that means that there's less money left over for the family, for the other needs. And that, again, disadvantages that family and that whole community. And their teachers get lower pay than wealthier neighbors, meaning wealthier school districts next door. And that's a problem too, because that's just not fair to the teacher. And that often will mean that teachers will leave a school district that's underfunded because maybe they can't afford to work there anymore. They need more money, so they go somewhere that will pay them better. And that means more teacher turnover in a lot of cases. And that's a problem. But even for the teachers that stay, it's very unfair that they are receiving less than their wealthier peers working, or their peers working in wealthier school districts. So one place you can definitely find more information on all of this is this pafairfunding.org website. All over the website here, there are going to be resources about how certain school districts are underfunded. You can look up your own school district. You can look up different ways to help. There's tons of resources there, news articles and that sort of thing. So feel free to look around if you are like, I need to learn a little more about this. So as you work on your art project, here are some things to reflect on. How does it make me feel to know my school is underfunded? One of the, art is about not just about facts. It's going to be about feelings. It's going to be about what it what it makes you feel and how it hits you to know that you're being shortchanged and your classmates are being shortchanged and not given the fair funding that you deserve. Think about what programs or different staff you are lacking. Are your class sizes really big? Do you not have guidance counselors? Do you not have foreign language and that sort of thing? Think about the things that maybe, your friends who go to the school district, across the road or across the river. What do they have that maybe you're like, man, why can't we have that? That sounds awesome. What are those things? How do you think your education might improve if your school was receiving the funding you deserve? How would that help you? What are the kinds of things that could improve about your school experience? And what is the message that the state is sending me when they underfund my education? Like, what does it tell me about how they value me or how they value my school district and the students who live where I live? Most importantly, I would just say create art that reflects your feelings about the lack of fair funding. There is no, right or wrong answer here. Just think about what it means to you and express that through your poster art. So I think it's important to know your voice is very powerful. There is nothing more powerful, I think, than folks across the state hearing from students how this unfair funding, the way that the funding is currently being distributed inequitably and unfairly, and how that is harming students. So whatever your message is, whatever your story is, please share it, and share it with conviction and boldness and creativity on your poster art. Thank you so much.